best updated build for Silverwolf, guys. Yes, the Silver Dog is back in town with a full bag of tricks, so we're going to be talking about everything you need to know about her best updated build today, going over best light cones, teammate options, stats, sets, everything like that, and then going over what she actually does at the end of the video, because there has been a lot of things that have changed with her, and this is her first rerun since that has happened. So without further ado, guys, let's go ahead and hop into her best in-slot light cones first. It's actually not her signature light cone, it's actually Cypher's signature light cone, guys, and honestly, Cypher's signature light cone is probably just one of the best light cones in the game for inhility characters or inhility support characters, because first of all, it gives you an inherent speed buff. Fucking amazing, right? But on top of this as well, guys, giving you defense shred, kind of like how Pearls of Sweat work. But if you can reach a 170 speed breakpoint, then you actually are going to be increasing this by an extra 8% for 2 turns, and then it'll also be applying an extra debuff on the enemy. With the increased speed it's giving you, it actually allows you to reach higher speed breakpoints, which then allows Silverwolf to go in the action order a bit quicker, which then also allows you to generate more SP points with Silverwolf, guys. Not to mention the AoE defense shred that's going to be able to provide you as well. It's like, this offers you so much. This is insane for Silverwolf, but not the only option for Silverwolf. Let's go ahead and talk about some more free-to-play options now, or I guess her second best in slot, right, which is actually still not her signature light cone, guys. It's actually Resolute Shines' Pearls of Sweat, guys. This light cone has been one of the best light cones in the game since day one. It is a 4-star option, and basically every single time you hit an enemy, it applies an extra defense shred, which can stack up so well with the defense shred she already does. This is going to be absolutely massive for her. Hopping into her third best in slot option, guys, that's actually going to be Holiday Therma Escapade. This is a Battle Pass light cone here, guys. Now, while I really don't like the damage dealt aspect of this, because I don't really build my Silverwolf to be a sub DPS at all, it is going to be putting a vulnerability debuff on the enemy, which actually pairs up really nicely with defense shred overall. You get a much higher multiplier when pairing up defense shred with vulnerability versus just stacking on more defense shred and more defense shred and more defense shred, because she can already give so much of that. But it kind of falls off with the increased damage aspect, and the vulnerability you're providing is actually kind of low unless you get an S5, which then makes this 16%, which then would make it, I guess, technically on par with what Resolute Shines of Pearls of Sweat does. But this requires you at least 5 battle passes to get this up, and I don't think anyone has this at S5 right now currently in the game, so yeah, take that for what you will. And then hopping into our best on slot free-to-play option, guys, that's going to be the event light cone that you can get from the Herda shop right now, which is before the tutorial mission starts. Basically, it's increasing her effect hit rate off rip, and then on top of this, guys, if you're attacking an enemy that has a reduced defense, you're increasing her energy by up to 8 for each one of those attacks, which leads her to supercharging her ultimate that much quicker. So this is still a really good and solid option if you don't have any of the other options that we just previously mentioned there. But these are all the light cone options that I recommend. Honestly, you're pretty spoiled for choice here. Like, genuinely, guys, very spoiled for choice here, and considering she can be ran on just about any team, it is great that she is actually spoiled for choice, because any of these light cones really work for any team, because they benefit the whole team. And some of them benefit her more, but obviously they benefit the whole team regardless. And while we're kind of talking about teams, right, let's go ahead and talk about what her best in slot teams are. Like I mentioned, she can run them basically any team in the game, right? But she definitely does have some teams where she's the best in slot in. Namely, her best in slot team being on a team with a completely free-to-play DPS. If you got him when the Fate collab came out, it's Archer, yes. Archer, Silverwolf, Sparkle, and whatever sustain you want to run here is going to be working absolutely perfectly. Now, the reason why this works so well is because obviously you have Silverwolf on the team that can change types if you're not facing a quantum weak enemy. She can change it to quantum. Then you have Sparkle, which is able to bring Mr. Archer back to the front. Sparkle able to generate a massive amount of skill points for your Archer with her ultimate move. Silverwolf also being able to generate really good skill points on her own because she's so SP efficient. Then obviously you have Archer doing the main source of the damage here. That defense shred is going to be helping him out so much here. And then obviously all these characters being quantum is going to be boosting up the buff that Sparkle is able to provide as well. So all in all, this is going to be working super good. You can also run someone like Fushuo on the team here to boost up crit rate if you are running into crit rate issues with someone like your Archer. So hands down, this is probably her current best in slot team, but not the only team she can work on. Hopping onto the opposite side of the spectrum there, a team with Castress. Yeah, I think she can actually work pretty decently with Castress as well, because of the fact that obviously you're getting the massive defense shred to every single enemy on the field. Castress able to hit every single enemy on the field. Then on top of that, giving the true damage to someone like Castress, also giving crit rate buffs and crit damage buffs to someone like Castress as well. Coming from Remembrance MC here, this just works out super well. On top of both Remembrance MC and Silverwolf being able to provide a lot of skill points, so you can skill every single time with Hyacinth, and also you're able to change weakness type to Quantum because Silverwolf's on the team here. That also makes it really good for getting the extra res pin off on the enemy as well. But that's still not the only team she can work on. Think of an Acheron team, guys. She can work in an Acheron team. She provides debuff with every single attack, which is then going to be supercharging what Acheron's ult's able to do, right? Doctor Ratio can work here too, though I don't really recommend it that much anymore because he's not that good anymore, but overall, she can work there too. Then obviously she can be a pretty decent second or third best in slot option in multiple other teams, just because she offers both defense shred and res pin built within her kit already. She's basically the better version of phainon now with the buff she's received, because now she is able to hit every single enemy on the field with her ultimate move, which is absolutely massive. Then you can also make sure you're implanting the correct weakness type to what your DPS is, so all around really good. But those are the best teams that I think she works on. Now let's talk about the nitty gritty, the part you've been waiting for. What is the best build you can run for her, right? Because, I mean, you could run her as a sub DPS, you can run her as a speed demon fiend that goes super fast, right? So I'll be focusing more on the support class today, because that's how I feel like she's the best played. So let's go ahead and talk about what I think her best 4-piece set is, and that's you guys subscribing to the channel. Ha! Gotcha, absolutely scammed. So subscribe to the channel if you clicked on the timestamp. Maybe you got scammed by that section there. And now let's actually talk about our best 4-piece set that you can run on her. Sorry. So the best 4-piece set, guys, is going to be the Eagle set. Now, this set is a bitch to farm. I'm not gonna lie. I really don't recommend you actually going to farm this set. Maybe if you have the mats to craft this set up, I would go for it. But overall, the set's not the best thing in the farm, because it comes with the ice set, which is not the best thing in the world either, right? It's the best in slot set because of how fast she can get her ultimate move back up. The more you get her ultimate move back up, the more she advances herself forward. The win damage here does not matter at all. It's literally the 4-piece set of this. If you're not using the 4-piece set of this and her stats are not correct, do not use this set at all. But other than that, guys, the set I do recommend running would probably be a 2-piece flex with a 2-piece speed, whether that be a 2-piece hacker space with a 2-piece sacred or a 2-piece warrior goddess of sun and thunder. Literally just get the 6% speed buff stacked on top of each other, so you're getting max 12% speed increase. This is going to be working out really, really well for you guys. So this will allow you to reach your speed breakpoints that much faster. This just helps you out so much with speed, because speed is probably one of the harder stats to get in the game, and we're not Mr. Pokey over here. We don't have maxed out speed stats on every single piece, right? But guys, this would be the second best in slot I'd recommend, and honestly the set that I recommend that you farm for, because it's just so flexible and you can go to multiple different domains to farm. And honestly, the other pieces in these domains actually will help out other characters. Maybe not Messenger anymore, but Sacred and Warrior Goddess will have another set alongside of them that are actually really good for a lot more characters on your account, but makes it a lot better to farm in my opinion. I do want to give you guys 2 honorable mentions here, that being the 4-piece Genius set. The 4-piece Genius set, obviously, guys, going to be giving you an 8 defense shred, because she is going to be quantum. You can apply quantum weak to the enemy, but this is only going to be viable if you're building like into DPS Silverwolf, and I don't really recommend that. Same thing with Pioneer as well, guys. When you're applying debuff to enemies, increasing crit damage, which really this set is honestly just meant for doing damage to enemies. That's really it, guys, okay? So I don't really recommend these sets, but now let's go and talk about her planter sets, because we love the big spheres, the big balls, because that's what Silverwolf has. She has big balls, big cojones, because she's putting defense shred on every enemy. Why the fuck did I'm too tired for this shit, guys. Anyways, guys, the best in slot planter set, guys, is either going to be Lushaka, Pinaconi, or Sprightly Von Whack. Each one of these sets here, guys, offers you a 5% energy regen rate, which is going to be absolutely massive for her. This will kind of talk about how we're building her a little bit later in the video with the main sets, but regardless of that, guys, each one of these is going to be giving her 5% extra energy regen. Sprightly Von Whack being really good because it'll automatically make her first in rotation if she wasn't already the fastest person on the team. Now, if she's already the fastest person in your team, don't really recommend Sprightly Von Whack. Look at the rest of your team you're running her with and make that determination, like, does she need Sprightly Von Whack to be able to get the defense shred off rip or not, right? It really depends on the team. Now, hopping into the other 2 sets we mentioned, right? Lushaka gives a attack buff to the first person on the team, absolutely massive. Pinaconi going to be giving a damage bonus to if you have someone quantum on the team, right? If you're running over someone like Archer, right, works there. If you're running over someone like Castros, this can work really good there. If you're running over someone like Acheron, maybe you run Lushaka or you run Von Whack there. Doesn't really matter, you can run either or. Now, I will give you a little honorable mention in terms of the DPS build if you want to run her DPS Silverwolf for whatever reason, right? Inner Southside or Glamoth here, guys. If you can reach the speed breakpoints needed for Glamoth, then run Glamoth. That's what I would recommend. But if you can't, then just run Southside. You're really just giving extra crit rate to herself. And then you're going to be giving her a massive ultimate damage increase as well, which is probably where the majority of her damage is coming from. So those would be the 2 honorable mention DPS sets. Now, hopping into what her main and subsets need to be. Starting off with the main sets first, guys. On the boots, it needs to be speed. On the body, you're going to be needing effect hit rate and or crit rate if you're running a DPS build. On the sphere is going to be quantum damage percentage or attack percentage. On the rope is going to be ERR to make sure she's getting her ultimate back up that much quicker. Hopping into those subsets now, guys. Effect hit rate, speed, crit rate, crit damage, attack percentage. Obviously, if you're building her like a support, really just focus on effect hit rate and speed. If you're building her as a DPS, then effect hit rate, speed, crit damage, attack percentage, right? Honestly, what I would say the in-game set would be to run DPS on her. But if you're not sweaty and you're just a casual player, I would definitely recommend just only getting effect hit rate and speed, and then crit rate, crit damage really doesn't fucking matter too much. Let's be real here, guys. She's doing sub-mediocre damage at best, okay? Even with the crit rate, crit damage, okay? You're not that guy. I'm not that guy. Most people are not that guy, okay? We're gonna have people in the comment section saying they are that guy. They're not that guy, okay? They're not them. They're not him. They're not women, okay? But that's all that I have to mention in terms of the best build for Silverwolf today, guys. If you enjoyed today's video, then please leave a like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already. Now we're gonna talk about how her kit actually works, because she has gotten a lot of changes to her kits, right? Namely, her ultimate move, guys. Now, her ultimate move is really special now in the fact that it can hit every enemy on the field. This is one of her main caveats from before. Like, literally, this is why Pela was better. Pela could hit every single enemy on the field for 45% defense shred. She could only hit one enemy, which was like, what the fuck? Everything in the game is basically blast AoE anyways. There's a very few amount of enemies in the game that are just one enemy, just the boss enemy, right? So this is going to be really good now because you hit every single enemy in the field, automatically making it better than Pela, in my opinion. Hopping into her skill move, guys. Her skill move will be targeting one enemy on the field and planting a weakness on that enemy. Now, this will be prioritizing that weakness type to whoever the first ally on the team is. And on top of that as well, guys, it'll be reducing the target's resistance to that weakness type by 20% for 3 turns. Do keep this in mind, though, guys. If the enemy is already that weakness, you will not be applying this 20% effect res. But what you will be applying will be a 13% all-type res pin for every single type in the game. So that's kind of good. Like, you get 13% there. Okay, cool. It would be nice if they weren't that weakness type, and then you get to stack it up even more with a defense shred. But I guess if the enemies are weak to the typing, they already have a resistance sword anyways, so you're basically just eliminating that barrier to entry in terms of damage. So, okay, good, I guess. And then kind of a throwback to when we were talking about teams, right? Why does she work well in an Acheron team? Why does she work well in a lot of different teams, right? Because basically, every single attack she does has a chance to put a debuff on the enemy, right? So what her talent does, guys, is basically for every single attack she does, she has a chance to reduce the enemy's attack, defense, and or speed for each one of these attacks. Now, you can get all 3 of these bugs on the enemy at one time. It doesn't really matter, but you will have to land 3 different attacks on the enemy for this to actually get up. But one really big thing with this, guys, is actually if you defeat an enemy with a weakness implant on them, if you kill them, it will be transferred over to another enemy until basically the weakness implant runs out, which is absolutely super massive. And that's the premise of how the new Silverwolf works and why she is so fucking good, right? She gives you 45% defense shredded with an ultimate that costs 110 energy, which is super easy to get back up. Not only this, guys, she has access to so many different light cone options and really good free-to-play ones at that. So with that, guys, she will be put in so many different teams, it's unreal. She's SP positive. She is just an absolute godsend for anyone's account, and if you got her, you should be considered lucky. Hey, if you listen to Second Poco when she first came out, guys, she is that unit. She is the GOAT, and she'll always be good. Surely, right? Surely she won't be power crop pretty soon. Anyways, guys, that's gonna do it for today's video. Hopefully you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one, guys. Later, bye-bye.